Is it just us tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be just us, but I am taking Skype calls, so hopefully we get some callers.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, sometimes I don't want callers. A couple of callers have just been really weird. Actually, a caller inspired the show. Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
The live edition of Flaming Freedom is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio
Kelly,
Network,
do I know you?
LRN.
No, I just wanted to check in and say hello.
Are you a gay narcissist?
Totally.
Nice.
Yeah, gay
My
narcissist.
friend Cody O'Connor.
Who else is with this?
Sorry, what did you say?
Who else is on this?
It's me, Leslie Ann Peterson, and you, as of right now.
Oh, I see. I don't know if I want to hang on while this goes on the radio or something.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
What happened to Derek?
What did you say?
What happened to Derek?
Derek is in Paraguay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so the gay narcissists have to run this shit while he's gone.
I guess so.
Withdrawing from Iraq as soon as the war with the Islamic State is over. The United
It's time for the girl.
Definitely stay for a little segment, though.
The biggest question arising from a possible secession of Kurdistan is what territory they'll take with them, as early in the Islamic State war they seized key oil-producing regions, including Kirkuk, and more recently have been expelling Arabs from the Sinjar area to try to make it a Kurdish Yazidi-dominated region as well. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi's office offered a warning against any unilateral votes by the Kurdistan regional government.
Well, I think I might just say so long, but I just wanted to drop in and say hello. I saw your little email on the Facebook group and said I wanted to say hello to everybody.
You're not going to stay on for the first bit?
Maybe not.
Well, I do appreciate the hello. Thank you for calling in.
Okay.
Anytime.
And Iraq's military is scarcely in a position to contest a secession by anyone, with so much of the country already under control of the Islamic State. Iraqi Kurdish secession could also fuel a regional split with the Kurdish YPG and
See, we already got one caller. I was wondering because I only share the link to be a host in Gay Narcissist. Everywhere else I share the link is just for the event page.
Yeah, it's just to see it.
Precious metals like gold and silver. They also take
Skype is better for
permanently removed.
Guess if they get too weird, I can hang up on them. On Google Hangouts, you can do that they can just stay on and do it.
You should be able to take them out though.
It won't let me, or unless I just don't know what I'm doing. But it's never if I wanted to cancel delete you from this group, it doesn't give me an option to do that. You only use
an agreement between the United States Department of Justice and the city of Ferguson, Missouri, seeks to completely overhaul the city's system of justice and
I don't care. That's why I just want to invite gay narcissists to be hosts and everyone else that I don't know and just hang up on.
Protocols and practices of the Ferguson.
Yeah, no, that's a good policy. I could have sworn there was an option to hang up.
Specifies that Ferguson's justice system is to be rebuilt, unlawful arrest to be eliminated, and criminal courts to operate independently from prosecutors. It also protects the rights of citizens to video record or take still photos of police officers in the course of their job. Although an agreement was reached, it still requires a public comment period and final approval by the Ferguson City Council. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder said in March that federal authorities would completely disband the city's police department if necessary. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the leader of a month-long occupation of a federal wildlife refuge in Oregon urged remaining protesters on Wednesday to leave the site and go home a day after his arrest and the death of a supporter. Ammon Bundy, who was taken into custody with several members of the group at a traffic stop along Highway 395 north of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in Southeast Oregon, urged federal authorities to let his comrades leave the compound without being prosecuted. In a statement read by his attorney, Michael Arnold, following a court hearing, Bundy said, "To those remaining at the refuge, I love you. Let us take this fight from here. Please stand down. Please stand down. Go home and hug your families. Please go back." Law enforcement surrounded the refuge and blocked off access roads on Tuesday evening after Bundy and his group were taken into custody at the traffic stop. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
After notifying students that there will be no awesome events happening on campus this weekend, Hamilton College Activity Board Coordinator Jessica Wilson from the class of 2015 spoke to Onion reporters about the disappointingly empty days ahead.
On behalf of the entire Campus Activities Board, I would like to truly apologize for failing to live up to the standards expected of us from everyone on campus. And the fact is, we let the school down.
Wilson said that while the board is usually proficient at booking plenty of cool events for all students to participate in, the upcoming weekend will have no interesting lectures, no wrestling match against Amherst, no acoustic coffee house, and no outdoor movie screening of Silver Linings Playbook.
We tried our best to organize a foam party in Dunham Quad for Friday night, but all the foam machines were rented, and we failed. This falls on us. We realize we don't deserve your trust yet, nor do we expect it, but we'll do everything we can to restore your confidence in us, starting with a comedy hypnotist show on Thursday at Minor Theater. Tickets are $5.
This is the Onion News Network.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flaming Freedom. I am your rebel mistress, and I'm here with the lovely Leslie Ann Peterson. What's up, girl?
Hello, hello. How are you?
This has been honestly one hell of a week. I've been wishing that January would end for like 28 days. It's just been a long time.
I think it's that for everybody right now.
And Liberty Forum is in like 3 weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I gotta get my plane ticket.
Oh my God, yes, you gotta get that like ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it. So on, I was gonna give you the date, which I can't even remember right now. I think it's Friday at 2 p.m. at Liberty Forum. If I'm wrong, I'll definitely correct that by the end of the show. But that will feature myself, Leslie here, and Stephanie Murphy. So, and if anyone else wants to be a guest or something like that, we welcome it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to make this a leather episode. I haven't really talked this over with Stephanie.
Didn't she say during the Working Girls episode that she's vanilla?
Yeah, but can we find her like a vanilla little leather outfit? I don't know. I'm going to try
to have a corset or something.
Yeah, like a leather corset, all leather. I'm going to try my best to talk her into it. I'm like, we can go shopping together. It'll be great.
So I don't actually have leather, but I have plenty of kink outfits.
Well, just, pick your favorite one, or if you don't want to wear your favorite one, if it's too like, I was right. Our show is Friday 3 to 5, so that'll be nice. It was originally Thursday of Liberty Forum, but I'm doing the comedy sketch show, which I've also been working on for the past month. So this past month, let me see, I've been planning a wedding, a bridal shower, doing 2 podcasts, recording an 8-hour novel for this audiobook I'm working on, which will be done tonight. I'm going to pull an all-nighter. And, learning, trying to remember lines for 6 sketches. So that has like been my life, just crazy, hectic at the moment. But I mean, I'd rather be busy than bored. So I guess that's something. Is there anything new going on with you? Anything fun, exciting happening in your life?
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember, but the first and only libertarian dating site Love and Liberty is going to be launched next Friday on the 5th.
Oh, wow. Next Friday. That's soon.
Yes, it is.
Just a solo project for you? Or is someone helping you with it?
I have one programmer, but it's really all me.
Awesome. Okay, and is there a Facebook page for it?
There is. You can search for us on Facebook at Love and Liberty.
Love and Liberty. And what kind of features will this site have that other sites don't have?
So, Love and Liberty will allow you to search by a person's self-identified political label, as well as allowing couples profiles.
Oh, okay.
So that's as much as I can do right now for the polyamory scene. It's a little hard to actually program a real poly dating site.
I mean, I just clicked on the page and it has a sign up link, which I like. So that's awesome. So go check out Leslie's Love and Liberty. Anything else? Anything personal? Any crazy stuff?
Nothing personal, but I will also be planning another talk for Liberty Forum. I believe on Saturday at 2 or 3, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I'll be doing how polyamory is the next step in getting the state out of marriage.
Nice. Well, I look forward to that one. I hadn't even looked at the schedule or anyone's talk or anything. So you're going to be at All Expo, right?
I will be.
Okay, so yeah, I'll definitely come see that then. I don't have any Saturday plans. Okay, so other than all this other crazy stuff that's been going on, one thing that has changed recently is we definitely started taking Skype calls. So if you want to Skype on any show that's happening from the Rebel Love Studios, you can just dial our Skype at Rebel Love Show, and you can Skype in with us, chat, whatever. It's been nice. I was thinking I'd get a few like creepertarians, like some weird shit going on, and there was. So I was definitely happy about that. But it was this one incident that happened last week with this guy who called in, who I wasn't particularly fond of. Like I liked his questions and I liked that he called in. I just didn't appreciate kind of the things he was saying, not the things he was saying, but the way he was saying it. So he had questions. Yeah, he had questions about polyamory, which I thought was nice. I like when people call in, they want to ask us questions, they want to ask us about relationships. But his way in explaining why he doesn't get polyamory, his answer was it's his bitch, and that he wouldn't like to see his bitch just out there fucking all these guys, because when you're polyamorous, like that's all you do is just go out in the corner and just like suck everyone's dick, according to him. and he was just talking about like this intense jealousy and saying, he doesn't know what he would do if he like found out his bitch was cheating on him. So I
assume bitch is his phrase, right?
He was not mine. He was literally saying this word for word, my bitch this, my bitch that. And I was trying to figure out, what was I the most upset about? Not like, he's sitting there calling like this woman he says he loves his bitch, but is it because he's like degrading her? And I really had to think about it. And I thought like my problem with this, like the jealousy that he has, like this possessive nature, is almost dangerous, because he is viewing his partner as someone he owns. And I feel like that is my problem, that when you're that jealous, you're saying you can have ownership over another human being, and that they can be your property. So I just started looking at the perils, and I do want to talk about this and some experiences that maybe you've had, and give some that I've had. But is jealousy a form of violence? And by violence, I mean just it. Is it a gateway to just serious aggression? Because like the way he was talking, he wasn't like understanding like the possessiveness of this and how dangerous that sounds. So I did want to talk a lot about jealousy today and try to answer the main question, like, is jealousy violent? Because if it is, I feel like we need to start looking at it a different way, or maybe getting to the root problem of what's making someone jealous. Because I feel like a lot of people say, oh, I'm jealous, but they're not really jealous. They're confusing like their feelings and they're like calling it jealousy. But it's more about looking within yourself and trying to figure out what's making you feel this way to a point where you feel like you need to own another human being. So yeah, that's what I want to so that's what I want to talk about today. So I guess my first question is like, when you first think of jealousy, like, do you think of like the non-aggression principle? Like, how does that play into it?
Well, I would like to very first make the differentiation between jealousy and possessiveness. In my long time doing polyamory, I've noticed that jealousy is more of a emotion based on wanting somebody else's resources. I want your time, your energy, your affection. Possessiveness is wanting to own a person. And I think you can feel jealous without feeling possessive, but possessiveness is by default a form of jealousy.
Okay, yeah. I did write possessiveness in. Like, I get that they're different, but it is all kind of going into the same thing, especially when this guy was talking to us, because he wants to know like how we could be polyamorous, because he would get too jealous. So maybe that is the problem, looking at jealousy and possessiveness. Like, he would get too jealous, meaning because he's just a possessive person. But at the same time, people aren't property. So how can we ever be possessive? We're going to go a little bit more deeper into it when we come back. We're going to talk about jealousy with friends, penis, envy, everything else. Welcome to Flaming Freedom.
So is your purple fading, or is that just the screen?
It's fading. It's like almost gray now.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
In early trading on Wednesday, gold is
But
$2 lower at $1,100.
I don't want to do anything to my hair right now.
Silver's down
I'm in
3
like
cents
this
at
weird time in my life.
$14.54 per ounce.
That just sums up my life.
Yeah, plenty of new 2016 silver and
I don't want to do
gold
anything in my
stock.
hair right now.
Get yours
It's a weird
online.
time.
What have you been using for shampoo since you started coloring it?
Well, see, that's the thing, because I have like the blonde shampoo because I want to keep my roots blonde, but then that's what's been making the purple fade. So I've been using this purple shampoo that I was using, and it was making it fade. So now I've been trying to just use like the kangaroo conditioner.
I don't know kangaroo. So my suggestion is look at your shampoos, and if it has sulfates in it, stop using. I've been using cleansing conditioner and only cleansing conditioner since I started dyeing my hair like unnatural colors.
Yeah.
And I made a purple last almost 3 months.
Oh, using cleansing conditioner?
Yeah, only using a cleansing conditioner.
To the guy that gave the order, to the guy
Okay.
above him.
Well, what brand? What kind of brand? I know Dry Bar makes a lot of like conditioner.
Surprisingly, Herbal Essences. They have a color safe cleansing conditioner, and it works just like Wen.
LRN.FM is about to announce our official listening.
I gotta try that.
Android
I want to dye my hair green.
Now you can
Ooh, green's good.
Green.
anytime on your smartphone or tablet.
I want to do like a foresty green.
Forest, that's a cute one.
FM and the Android or Apple app
I can see that.
Please
All green or
download,
just like
rate
your
us 5
tips?
stars, then share the link.
No, all of it.
Let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
If you can't listen to the Liberty Radio Network's internet streams, free satellite channel, or radio affiliates, no worries. You can listen to LRN.FM from any phone, anywhere. Add this number to your phone, 213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network lines are locked into our stream 24 hours a day. Call 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
And welcome back to Flaming Freedom. We're talking about jealousy and all the other sins in the world today. I was just telling Leslie the story of this guy who called the show wondering about polyamory. And he was just explaining like his jealousy and why he would be jealous and all this kind of thing. And in the process, you know, I just wanted to ask some friends what they thought about it, get some field research. You know, have you ever been jealous? Was it of your partner? And these are like monogamous people or whatever. And oddly enough, like most people, not that people like to admit ever that even to themselves or to their partner that they are jealous, which I feel like is because people sometimes confuse their feelings or they don't really realize that that's the feeling that they're feeling. But surprisingly, her answer, you know, was no. And she gave me another genuine answer. She's like, I'm not jealous of him or like going out and doing something in a romantic way. I think I get jealous more so at the fact, like if he's going to like hang out with his friends, I think I get a little bit jealous of that. Like, oh, like, you know, he's spending his time like elsewhere, but it's not like extreme. So, you know, it kind of made me think about it because I've only been thinking about jealousy from a relationship standpoint, not more so of a social standpoint. Like, and I really had to look like, am I like, have I been jealous? Like, am I jealous of someone that, you know, I haven't really realized or I didn't say anything, even if it's something small, like, oh, you know, I wish I had this person's like personality or sense of humor or intelligence. You know, am I jealous around my peers? Do I get jealous of my friends? And I think that I do. And I think I do so more with friends than in a relationship. Because I feel like I don't have any jealousy towards my fiance. Like if he wants to go do something, like I wouldn't get jealous of like the time he's spending with someone else. But if like my two girlfriends hang out together and then like I'm not there, I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, I'm jealous. Like I wish I could like be hanging out with them too. So, you know, I kind of wanted to look at it that way. So, but I mean, I have deeper stories of jealousy that I've seen lead to extreme violence, which I'll tell a little bit later. But I wanted to know, do you feel like jealous like at all in like your everyday life or with friends or with your spouses? I don't know, your puppy. I don't know. It could be anything at this point.
I definitely have felt jealousy, but what I realized feeling jealous is that it's always at least for me, always a symptom that in some way my needs aren't being met. It's back again to that resource-based, like I'm not getting enough time with that person. If I see my friend on Facebook having a great time with her new friends because she lives all the way across the country, I'm jealous because I don't get that time with her.
Yeah, so you're kind of evaluating like, you know, in a nutshell, like what your feelings are. But what about in a relationship?
I think, at least lately, I've not experienced jealousy in a relationship because I've been very good about making sure my needs are being met.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing for me to be jealous about. We also live in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere. So there's nothing for him to go get in trouble with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but even like there's like you can go on cam sites. Like some girls don't like their boyfriends to even watch porn. Look at, like if a girl, I swear I read this article about guys like checking out women in front of their girlfriend and like how disrespectful it is and like all the trail of how men can't stay focused. But like in the end, like all that really showed to me was people are just doing this kind of naturally, but some people are so extremely jealous and or possessive that they don't want their boyfriend to look at another girl. They don't want them looking at porn, nudie magazines, if anyone still looks at those.
Dear God, I keep begging to like watch porn with him, and he's like, no, this is my thing. No, he's very... Porn is a solitary activity for him.
Yeah, we have porno.
I want to watch it
in this house.
I want to watch it. And like I help him go through his Tinder, and he'll be like, "What do you think I should say to this guy or girl?" I'm like, "Okay, let me help."
Oh.
So jealousy is not really an issue in this relationship. I have had one relationship. It was it started as a very monogamous relationship and became rather dysfunctional. Near the end, the only option in my mind was to open the relationship to polyamory.
Was he jealous or were you jealous?
Oh, he was very jealous. It ended up in me filing a restraining order. It was very bad.
So he's like he wanted to know where you were going, what you were doing, like what were like the sign, what are the telltale signs of like, you know, in a relationship that someone's becoming like aggressively jealous?
So this started out with he kept seeing his ex, and I was like, you know, if you're going to keep doing this, I want the same freedom. And I started seeing other people as well. He started showing up in the middle of the night after we had already like separated and were taking some time apart. He started showing up in the middle of the night and pounding on the door, calling multiple times during the evening. I think I recorded like 60 phone calls in one night.
Mm-hmm. That's
so yeah, it was absolutely crazy, hence the restraining order.
Yeah, no, I've had a guy do that kind of, and I changed my number. No, I blocked him, and so he changed his number just so he could call me again. But I think he was just more crazy than jealous, because like I wasn't seeing anyone else. He was just crazy. So I guess when I was a kid, let me see how I want to tell the story. So this lady, I'm just gonna tell it this way. Her husband, I don't know, her boyfriend, long-term boyfriend, they had 2 kids together. They had a 3rd kid. And this guy had been showing his jealousy for a while, just being violent towards other people. Like every time she came in the house, he's like, "Oh my God, where have you been? You're such a whore. I know you've been fucking someone else." And a lot of times, like, you know, I don't want to go off topic here, but a lot of times it's all projection. Especially when it's like, "Oh, you've been fucking someone else." Like it's because they secretly want to, or they are. And they don't really know how to communicate. But anyway, so these like signs of jealousy were progressing, and they still stayed together. Because some people think, oh, jealousy is enduring. Like, oh, that's like nice that someone's so chivalrous. Like they're jealous for me. Like, and for some people, it can kind of be a turn on.
Wait, what's that? There's that meme that keeps going around Facebook with the Johnny Depp. If you really love the first person, you wouldn't fall in love with the second person.
No,
so dump the first one. Oh, I'll have to show you.
Yeah, no, I got to see. I have to see that one. So yeah, she stayed with this man, and so 3rd baby's coming, and 3rd baby comes. And 3rd baby doesn't look like baby 1 and 2, but like, it's a little bit. Okay, I gotta finish this story when we come back. Someone gets stabbed. That's how it ends. But I'll tell you the middle.
God, I want porno Mondays.
Yeah, we do Porno Monday all the time.
We don't watch the same stuff.
Sometimes he picks like a porno, and then I pick a porno.
Maybe you were downsized or even lost a job, but you
We get to think all week of which porno we want to play for each other.
Yeah, see, totally jealous. We just have very different interests.
We know the secrets.
That makes
to
sense.
negotiate better terms
And it's embarrassing because sometimes, you get into some really frisky porn.
Help you get out of debt. 800-981-7590. If you owe 10 grand or more in credit card debt and you want to learn how you can pay less and get out of debt faster, call right now. 800-981-7590. 800-981-7590. Get out of debt now. 800-981-7590.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website, fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.lrn.fm. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network when you shop at Amazon via shop.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Jump on it if you've sexed and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe the spot.
And welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I'm here with Leslie Ann Peterson. And don't forget that you can Skype us in. Tell us your jealousy, hate, lust, envy stories, and all the above. And our Skype handle is Rebel Love Show. So before I left, I was just telling the story of a woman that I knew. And, you know, she had this very jealous boyfriend. He hadn't shown any physical signs of being, you know, aggressive. He wasn't like verbally abusive. He was just like always accusing, kind of, but then he'd be like, oh, okay. Then he gets.
I don't know. I think that's abusive.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, obviously, it's unhealthy. But again, like I said, some people think, oh, he's jealous. That's cute. Like I've met like a lot of people who are just so fooled by it and like how it can escalate. So she never checked this jealousy, and it was kind of just, oh, it's it's kind of cute to her. So by the time they had their third baby, and the third baby, this is these people are Black, and so the third baby is like a little bit lighter than the other two, and because this guy is just insane, he just gets the idea, well, it's not my baby, like in his head, and he gets angry. And, he never like physically hit her. He never like attacked her or anything before. But now, they've been together 3-4 years. He goes and she gets out of the hospital, brings the baby home. He stabs her. He stabs her about 20 times, just repeatedly. Because he's jealous, and because I know like there's no logical explanation of how and when or where this person could have cheated. He didn't ask, let's get a blood test, let's see, let's go to Maury. I don't know. His like next rational thing was violence, and I feel like you said, it's true. I feel like he was abusive, because it can be a form of abuse when you've let this like jealousy control like your thought processes, and no one's ever said, hey, how about this is a little bit unhealthy, let's take a look at yourself and reevaluate what's going on, because it's not healthy for you to be this jealous of anything. But like I said, it's like unchecked aggression, and then it just finally came out, and it resulted in this woman almost losing her life because of it. So I mean, I guess just like one of my personal stories in being jealous, and they say it's a lot of parallels between men and women, because everything's a parallel between men and women. Women get different jealous than men, and men get different jealous than women, or men are more aggressive or women are more aggressive, which I don't really find any truth in that. I feel like if someone has sort of maybe not like an on the record like mental disorder like bipolar or something like that, it doesn't even matter. If you're letting this person be like become aggressively more jealous, then maybe it has something to do with a mental disorder, and that kind of fueling the fire within each other. But I feel like if we can continue to look at jealousy as if something that's not like just nonchalant and not a big deal, that is always going to inevitably lead to violence. Do you get what I'm saying at all?
I get what you're saying. I have to politely disagree. I think that, yes, jealousy is most definitely a red flag, but I don't think it always leads to violence. I do think that once we feel it, we should take time to stop and figure out what's caused us to feel it and look at it rationally. But I don't think it always will lead to physical or emotional violence.
I think that, because I've always used the phrase, everything in moderation is okay.
True, but one of my issues is a lot of people, when they think of jealousy, they think of it as an emotion that necessitates action. And I like to try to think about jealousy as just an emotion that you feel and that you don't necessarily have to act on. Just like we're taught from a very young age, anger. You feel the anger, that doesn't mean you have to do something about it. I think we need to start thinking of jealousy in the same way, feeling it and not necessarily doing something about it.
Okay, so just because you mentioned just like getting into like your feelings of it all, so I was starting to look at like loneliness, because I think a lot of those things, like jealousy and loneliness, have a lot in common. Because a lot of times when someone says, oh, I'd be jealous of this, they're not really looking inward enough to, you know, sit down and like you said, logically think it out. Why am I going to be jealous of this? And I feel like a lot of the times the answer is because they think, you know, that'll make them lonely. And just like I said earlier, it's hard to admit that you're jealous of someone. Like you probably have great communication skills. I think I have pretty good communication skills in a relationship. It definitely took me a while to get there, but communicating, you know, I'm jealous in, you know, some kind of rational way, might be better than admitting that, you know, I'm lonely. If you go and do this other thing, you know, that's going to make me lonely. That's kind of looking at, like, you know, how you feel, what the root problem is. I feel like a lot of people don't want to either admit that they feel these like emotions of being lonely, and they don't really see the difference between being lonely and being alone. Because Rob can go somewhere, I don't even know where he is right now, like, and he's not here, and I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. And I feel like that's like, it's not a self-help show by any means, but I feel like if you're lonely and you're having these intense feelings of being lonely, maybe you should start looking at how to deal with that, because you have to always look inward. And I feel like that's something polyamory's taught me, is like, I can't just like put all my problems off on my partner, because I'm still in a relationship with myself and I need to figure out what's gonna make me happy. And I try to always look inward. But then, like, when I say that to friends, like, oh, like, yeah, polyamory is all about communication, and I feel like it's made me evolved in a way where I don't really get jealous. But then again, I don't know if it's polyamory. I don't know if it's polyamory that's taught me to communicate to a place where I'm like comfortable enough to say I feel lonely, or here are my feelings, I'm gonna lay it out for you. But I do think polyamory has kind of opened that door for me to be like, you know, I'm gonna look at the problems within myself. I'm gonna lay them out on the table, and I'm gonna try to fix it. Because a lot of times, like, that loneliness, that jealousy is, like you said earlier, it's all revealing deep inside what you really want or what you really need. But you gotta think about how many people are actually willing to admit that to themselves. Like, no problem.
I think polyamory is a wonderful cue or trigger for self-discovery and for this reflective process that you're talking about. But I don't think it's the only one. And I think it's definitely available for people in the monogamy scene as well. It's just they haven't been prompted by something as, I want to say scary as polyamory, because it goes so much against what we've been taught. But it's a skill that a lot of media has already noticed has been creeping from polyamory into the monogamy scene. This skill of communication and of self-reflection and of consciousness in our actions.
Okay. I want to know if you've seen any parallels between men and women, because I have a funny ex-girlfriend story when we come back.
Refill that wine.
The liberty-minded people had been elected.
I wish I had wine. I have like no booze, no pot.
Would you move there?
No pot.
Sorry, honey.
20% voting block and can veto most bad bills. Would you move? Well, the time has come to sign the pledge at freestateproject.org. These things have happened in New Hampshire, and you can join us and help. freestateproject.org. Sign up now at freestateproject.org. Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but But now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45 cents off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's post pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click get notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit did your nerves spike. You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
Listen to LRN.FM on any phone, anytime. 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
I got a big fat ass. Come on.
Welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I'm here with Leslie Ann Peterson. Again, if you want to Skype us with any questions, concerns, not that I've even looked at Skype, so we've Skyped in. I'll look at it now. And we're also chatting with you live on LRN.FM. So I wanted to come back and get into the differences between kind of men and women and jealousy, lust, all that good stuff. So I guess the bigger question, or like what you want to ask, or what you'd want to know, is what would make you more jealous or make you whatever between sexual infidelity or emotional betrayal. Someone cheating on you versus just like them emotionally, I don't know, like emotionally cheating on you, because that's a thing. You can emotionally cheat. You can just like, you'd rather someone have. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more of a way where you look at it like, if like I'd rather you be having sex with someone than I'd rather you have feelings for someone.
I guess it depends on what your preconceived notions of the boundaries and agreements of that relationship are. if you haven't discussed them, that's where there's that issue that comes up.
Well, yeah, but if we're speaking of infidelity, nothing's going to be talked about beforehand because it's all infidelity. And I guess if you're asking which one's worst, I'd say on a scale to me, both are pretty bad. But I think I'd probably be hurt more by like that emotional infidelity. But we're talking about hurting and jealousy and all of that other stuff. For me, I feel like if someone wants to be with, like, I'm in a polyamorous relationship, so I can't really say where this fits, but when I was in a monogamous relationship with one of my first girlfriends, she was just really emotionally manipulative, and it would be like, you know, she wasn't like physically having sex with anyone else, but like I could feel like that her heart was elsewhere and she wanted to be with someone else. And I feel like that almost, you know, hurt more than the sexual infidelity, but I feel like in a way where if you don't want to be with me and you want to be with someone else, you should just be with that other person. Like I'm not the type of person that would like to be strung along or anything like that. You know, because I am talking about this from a monogamous standpoint, but in polyamory, you know, I don't want to be strung along either. Like if you have feelings for someone else, that shouldn't take away from your feelings from me, I guess is what I'm saying, because it should all be separate. I feel like there's a lot of love in your heart for more than one person, but for some people, you know, that's not necessarily the case. Like they just want to be monogamous. Like I totally understand monogamy. I try not to like knock it or anything. Like I totally get it. But just in a case of infidelity, in a monogamous relationship, I feel like it's that kind of emotional manipulation that would kind of like stick out more than me. I feel like I'm more of a sexually liberated person, so I like but infidelity is infidelity. You don't want anyone lying to you. You don't want anyone cheating on you. But in a study that I read between men and women, looking at jealousy, and it turned out, you know, men are more jealous because of sexual infidelity, and it says women are more jealous because of emotional betrayal. Not that I'm, you know, putting everyone or checking them in these like little boxes, but it was a study done. So do you think that there's like any truth to that, and like girls or men that you've dated that you maybe can see that parallel between sexual and emotional infidelities?
I definitely can. Though one instance where I had that relationship go horribly wrong, it was the sexual infidelity or the sexual interaction and activities that bothered my partner the most. I can see where this would arise from evolutionary psychology. Men are concerned about the physical activities because they are no longer able to discern whose child it is. Mm-hmm. And the women are concerned about the emotional infidelity because that means there's not a chance that he's going to stick around and help raise the child. So I can see it where that stems evolutionarily.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it, you know, that way. I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, like I'm like emotionally like a 5. Like I was like more upfront about my sexuality than I was with my emotions. In every relationship, like I'm down for sex, but like the emotional part was always really hard for me because it was hard for me to like, you know, connect to one person. And what was really hard when I was single is that I just didn't want to be with one person. So it's kind of hard for me to commit in that way. And you don't want to hurt anyone. So just for me, I didn't want to be, you know, commit these infidelities, I guess. And I didn't want to make anyone jealous, and I didn't want to hurt anyone, but I still wanted to be myself. So I don't know. I feel like there could be a difference between men and women, but I feel like it just depends on what kind of person you are, because some people would be more hurt by sex, and some people wouldn't even break up with someone if, you know, it was just kind of an emotional thing. I feel like most people don't. Most people never look at that. Whenever I hear about cheating, it's always like the sex. You gotta look at the sex of it all. Do you think that there's any truth to, you know, if someone's being overly jealous or like thinking that you're having sex with everyone, it's because that's what they secretly want to be doing and they're projecting that? Do you think there's any truth to like that projection of just like your feelings and it's coming out through this kind of jealousy, but those are your secret feelings?
God, I don't know.
No?
I wouldn't really say so. I've spent many years in the domestic violence and abuse field. I've spent a lot of years in domestic violence shelters and working on crisis lines, and the general thought process there is that accusing somebody repeatedly of cheating is merely a form of manipulation and abuse in order to keep your power in the relationship. It's basically
did they focus a lot, like I don't know what you did at the domestic abuse center, but did they you know, focus a lot on, did they talk about like, you know, because I feel like a lot of domestic abuse like stems, like I know you said like it's always different and it's how you act on that jealousy, but I feel like it kind of stems from that. Like was that like any like the common thing that, you know, everyone?
Yeah, the main thought process is that it's abuse in general is a way to maintain control over a relationship. And I guess that ties in with jealousy, because jealousy is a feeling, or it could be interpreted as a feeling of losing control over the relationship. So you don't have control over how much time or affection or who they're seeing or what they're doing. So therefore jealousy is how that desire manifests into an emotion.
Okay. I mean, I know you live in a small town because you live in the middle of North Carolina. So I would assume most of like your friends or the people you hang around with aren't like, you know, living the same lifestyle you are. I would assume you get a lot of questions about like, you know, all of it. Because I feel like the main question I get when someone asks me about polyamory is just straight to jealousy.
How do you handle the jealousy?
Yeah, that's like the first question. Just like I never know how to answer that question, because if I tell someone I don't, you know, I don't get jealous, it's more so they don't believe me. And
I feel like saying I don't get jealous is a lie, because I do get jealous. And I get jealous if it's time away from me when I'm feeling particularly needy or emotional. My default response to that is generally that I don't view jealousy as an emotion that necessitates action on my part. I try to sit with it and examine it, but just because I'm jealous doesn't mean he did something wrong or she did something wrong. It just means that I'm lacking somewhere, and I need to fix that.
That's such like I don't even know how to say it. It's just like most people aren't thinking that way. Like, you're looking a lot within. And
no, it's a total mindfuck for monogamy. They can't handle it.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more when we come back. Do you have a lot of friends in North Carolina?
Oh, there's nobody around here.
And improving. This is Charlie's.
I moved into this town back at the beginning of October.
Your payment history, almost equally.
And I think I've met like 2 friends.
Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve
it was better when I lived in Nashville.
Credit score,
I bet
set up to assure your bills are always paid on time.
They have a much stronger Liberty community.
They have a high credit limit with a low balance.
Even if they have some issues.
The age of these can actually help your credit score, but don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. Following sharp increases yesterday, in early trading on Wednesday, gold is $2 lower at $1,118 per ounce. Silver is down 3 cents at $14.54 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $395 US. We have plenty of new 2016 Silver American Eagles in stock. Get yours online at rrbi.co or give us a call at 800-874-9760.
More Flaming Freedom is coming up next, live after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, January 28, 2016. Silver is trading at $14.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,122 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $385. Antiwar.com reports ongoing tensions between Iraq's central government and the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG. Looks like they're going to be getting much worse, with Kifa Mahmoud, an advisor to the Kurdish president, reporting that the KRG has agreed to a referendum on declaring independence from Iraq. The Kurds have had long-standing ambitions to secede from Iraq, and officials have talked up the idea of withdrawing from Iraq as soon as the war with the Islamic State is over. The United States government has opposed this, saying they want a unified Iraq. The biggest question arising from a possible secession of Kurdistan is what territory they'll take with them, as early in the Islamic State war they seized key oil-producing regions, including Kirkuk, and more recently have been expelling Arabs from the Sinjar area to try to make it a Kurdish Yazidi-dominated region as well. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi's office offered a warning against any unilateral votes by the Kurdistan Regional Government, saying a vote would be against the Constitution and illegal. The central government has seen the risk of secession coming for a while and has pushed against arming the Kurds to fight against the Islamic State on fear that the heavily armed Kurdish Peshmerga would be able to fight a war of secession. The legal question may matter less and less as time goes on, however, as the Peshmerga has gotten a lot of weaponry and Iraq's military is scarcely in a position to contest a secession by anyone, with so much of the country already under control of the Islamic State. Iraqi Kurdish secession could also fuel a regional split with the Kurdish YPG in northeastern Syria and growing Kurdish unrest in southeastern Turkey. Both of those countries could find themselves looking to join a unified Kurdistan. For nearly 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports an agreement between the United States Department of Justice and the city of Ferguson, Missouri seeks to completely overhaul the city's system of justice and eliminate unlawful arrest, according to documents released on Wednesday. The agreement is the result of many months of investigating by justice officials into the protocols and practices of the Ferguson Police Department following the controversial death of Michael Brown. The accord specifies that Ferguson's justice system is to be rebuilt, unlawful arrest to be eliminated, and criminal courts to operate independently from prosecutors. It also protects the rights of citizens to video record or take still photos of police officers in the course of their job. Though an agreement was reached, it still requires a public comment period and final approval by the Ferguson City Council. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder said in March that federal authorities would completely disband the city's police department if necessary. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the leader of a month-long occupation of a federal wildlife refuge in Oregon urged remaining protesters on Wednesday to leave the site and go home a day after his arrest and the death of a supporter. Ammon Bundy, who was taken into custody with several members of the group at a traffic stop along Highway 395 north of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in southeast Oregon, urged federal authorities to let his comrades leave the compound without being prosecuted. In a statement read by his attorney, Michael Arnold, following a court hearing, Bundy said, "To those remaining at the refuge, I love you. Let us take this fight from here. Please stand down. Please stand down. Go home and hug your families. Please go back." Law enforcement surrounded the refuge and blocked off access roads on Tuesday evening after Bundy and his group were taken into custody at the traffic stop. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Video game players love customizing every aspect of their character. One game, Elder Scrolls Online, has set a new bar for character creation by letting players design every organ and cell in their avatar's body.
In Elder Scrolls Online, you get to play as whoever you want to play. You are in control of everything from your character's face to their hair to their arteries. We're not just going to give you some pre-made bones and ligaments. You get to create the musculoskeletal system that's right for you. You can even alter the DNA.
Are all of these changes just cosmetic?
No, not at all. They have a huge effect on game playing. If your character's body has any anatomical flaws, they could die immediately.
Beta testers say that designing every aspect of their character is a compelling experience.
I've been designing my orc's liver for 5 hours now. This is awesome.
Designing the hands is the hardest part. I keep having to look up how all the joints connect.
Players can also press the randomize button to get a completely random collection of body parts.
This is the Onion News Network.
And welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I'm here with Leslie Ann Peterson. We're talking about a little bit about relationships today. I feel like that's what we're focusing on. And I just do want to mention my newest audiobook, Through the Looking Glass, which you're going to be able to find on Amazon and Audible. Should be out by the end of the week. Yay! I know you guys are so excited. It's a great novel. I've never actually narrated something so graphic as this book, but I feel like that's why it's going to sell well. People like this graphic shit. But anywho, so before we left, I asked Leslie, like when people ask me, I usually say, I don't get jealous. And I do feel like I've evolved past basically focusing so much on others and how they perceive me that I can look more at myself. And also, I've never been into anything traditional per se. I've always felt confined if I wasn't able to like venture out in a relationship or whatnot. So for me, it's never been a problem dealing with that. I feel like my feelings, if I have feelings, I try to like evaluate them, but they're never feelings of jealousy. Sometimes I feel like I should be more emotional than I am sometimes. Like I should I should care more and like show that I care more, even though, I care. But sometimes I'm just not thinking on that superficial level. So I had to ask myself the second question, like if I'm bringing another partner in, how do I not make them jealous, or how do I kind of deal with that in a way that it's not making, anyone else jealous? So for instance, because I just never have been in a traditional relationship really, maybe I don't notice when someone's jealous or my partner's jealous. When I was in a triad, I felt like our partner was jealous, kind of just like the closeness of our relationship, even though I felt like our closeness was more like friends, but I didn't see her jealousy. And until she kind of communicated and she said, yeah, like I feel like you guys are just like so close. But I'm like, at this point, like, though it sounds mean, like I don't want to deal with someone else's jealousy either. So if I'm approaching someone with polyamory and I feel like they're jealous of something, though I feel like maybe you have some ways that are better than my ways of how to deal with that, I don't. So that kind of just turns me off about someone. And I don't know, maybe that's wrong, but to each his own, I guess. But yeah, jealousy turns me off. And if a partner were potentially going to be jealous of like this relationship or whatever, because if I feel like I'm giving enough attention where I don't really feel like there should be any jealousy, especially on a level where, you know, it's making you sad or it's making you feel lonely or it's making you feel distant, it's just kind of a big turnoff for me. And I can't really move past that point if a partner is jealous. So that's like a deal breaker. That's my deal breaker. Do you have any like
I'm totally down with you having that as one of your boundaries and your limits. I don't think it's a limit for everybody. It's not a limit for me.
How would you deal with the partner like coming in? Like what are like, you know, even if it's like, how would you immediately start making sure there wasn't any jealousy, or do you realize there's any telltale signs? Because like I said, I didn't even realize that she may have been jealous until it was just like too late and that jealousy started like becoming other feelings of like neglect and just being distant because of that jealousy.
I don't really view it as my responsibility to chase people down and tell me their feelings.
Yeah, good point.
I make it very clear to all of my partners and my friends that if they want me to know that they're feeling in a certain way, that it is on
Has
them.
any partner ever said, "No, I'm jealous"?
And I've gotten that. I've had that a few times. There have been instances where I've made my primaries or my secondaries jealous, and it's merely a matter of not giving enough time or attention or a misunderstanding of what the agreements were in the first place.
Mhm.
So
you kind of just talk it out and go back to your original agreements. So
well, it's not necessarily going back to the original agreement. It's talking it out.
Original agreement, like
I don't think it is necessarily. Thankfully, I've only had partners who understand the importance of communication when it comes to polyamory.
yeah.
in
I mean, that's why I can't date. That's why it's so hard to date. Like it's like all these parameters. You have to find someone who's already like down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, dating is hard, and it makes it even harder when you start throwing like qualifiers like polyamorous or libertarian in there. Makes it so much harder.
Once you throw those two in there, like you're limited to a small number of people.
Shameless self-plug for Love and Liberty.
Oh yeah, exactly. You go in there, and then maybe you can. Hopefully, we find someone who at least wants to have a threesome. I don't know.
Yep, I'll need beta testers, so you guys better sign up.
Oh, nice. I actually am gonna sign up. I still have it open in my browser. Sign up for Love and Liberty, people. Leslie's gonna hook you up. Now, is this in North Carolina or just world? What is going on?
It should be focused primarily on the US for the beta testing, and then we'll figure it out from there. We will also have an iOS and an Android app coming out within a few weeks after the initial beta launch.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's awesome. Well, I'm definitely gonna join and sign up. I want to meet more hot Liberty polyamorous women. So
good luck with that.
That are like, because I feel like we're talking about jealousy mostly, but like there's lust in the title, because I feel like they all correlate in a way where if it's like anything in excess, it just becomes too much. And I think like
so you're not a hedonist.
I'm not a what?
Not a hedonist? Not into hedonism?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's an excess of physical pleasure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not a hedonist. I don't like it. I was talking to a friend about MDMA today, and I told her that's one of my problems with it actually, and she looked at me like I was the craziest person in the world. I was like, it kind of harnesses all your happiness into one bubble, and then it explodes inside of you. But to me, I just feel wrong. I don't want that to happen, because then when you come down after you've used up all your happiness, you get sad because you think you're not going to be able to get to that point anymore unless you do this drug. And to me, I like things in moderation. So even this drug that makes you feel extra happily amazing for 3 minutes, I kind of feel it's too much. When you self-indulge that much, I just think that leads to problems, and that's why people are addicted to it. And I personally don't want to feel like that. And that sounds crazy, I know, because who doesn't want to feel exceedingly abundantly happy all the time? I don't want to feel like that. I want my feelings to be natural of my surroundings, because after that, after I come down from MDMA, I'm gonna have to come back to earth. And I like life, and I like all the parts of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. No, I guess I'm not a hedonist. I wish I could be more. But I don't like gluttony. I don't like lust. I think if you overindulge, I totally went off point. I had something else to say, but I totally forgot. But no, I feel that's my main problem, is we can't just expect to have all this silver and gold placed in front of us. I feel we have to work for it. And if you try to get there by consuming too much of everything, just gonna go crazy.
Are you a political activist who does things?
I totally had something else to say, and it's one of those things where I had this thing in my head that I was gonna say, and it just disappeared, and I know it was there.
Informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar.
That jealousy is lust for partners, time, and attention.
Short book, easy to read, and available free in many formats. Download Rats free
I usually make a lot of notes to
rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
I'm Ian Freeman, host of Free Talk Live. We've been covering Uber for years on the radio with their ongoing legal cases across the globe, defending your right to give people rides without asking government permission. I wanted to support Uber more directly, so I signed up to be a driver. It's fun to meet new people and help Uber push forward innovation. As of this recording, Uber is active in 67 countries, so there's a good chance they're available in your area. If you'd like to drive for Uber and make some money helping people get where they want to go, sign up at drive.freetalklive.com. and you'll get a $100 bonus after you complete a certain number of trips. With Uber, you can drive anytime you want. You set your schedule. To get started, you need a good driving record, 4-door vehicle, insurance, registration, and to pass a background check. It costs nothing to sign up, so visit drive.freetalklive.com. That's drive.freetalklive.com. And if you just want to try Uber as a rider, visit ride.freetalklive.com. Your first ride's free.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it
So
now.
you're halfway out of the screen.
Oh yeah, I'll move
You wanna
over.
move to the free state. You're looking for some real estate.
Oof.
Mostly because my dog is just
All have
lying
enough of that
directly in
jungle,
front of
don't
me.
you? If you're going to property in New Hampshire, it just makes sense to
just a little
support a Liberty-friendly realtor. Call Mark Warden of Team Porcupine Real Estate for investment property or rentals in the Free State, or visit his website. Come on, you know it.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
Instead of just listening, you can also watch. See the Liberty Radio Network's key New Hampshire-based live shows via our studio cam at cam.lrn.fm. Plus, you'll still be able to listen to the Liberty Radio Network via the cam feed in high quality 24/7, even when there's no live show being produced in our Keene studio. But wait, there's more. Our chat room is built into the cam page so you can interact with other listeners online. Listen, watch, and chat, all free at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
Facing mounting criticism that lethal injection is cruel and outdated, Ohio has replaced it with a system that quickly and humanely rips off the heads of death row inmates using powerful robotic arms. The new device is designed to be as humane as possible, emitting soothing white noise and putting prisoners on a cushioned seat before its metallic talons dig into their necks and painlessly wrench their heads off. Ohio Department of Corrections Director Gary Moore praised the machine, saying, quote, "Our new system is a hallmark of compassion. Now these deaths will be pain-free because the machine's claws are coated with topical anesthetic." Quickly pulling off a prisoner's head is considered less cruel than lethal injection, which requires 3 separate chemicals. And Ohio isn't the only state changing the way it handles capital punishment. Last month, Texas unveiled the Machinator, which humanely squishes up to 50 prisoners at once. Coming up next, is anything valuable buried in the woods behind my house? Our team of investigators finds out.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Everybody get up.
Okay, welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I was on a thought and then I lost it and I just came back just in time for you. So it's back to this original guy who got me thinking about this, the one who called me telling me about his bitch and how he'd be so upset if she was polyamorous because how could like she just go out there and be fucking all those guys. is just his definition of polyamory. And I think like that's where I was getting at with lust, because it's like people tend to view, like, especially because I get these questions all the time, like because I'm polyamorous and because I'm a woman, it's all about the sex and I just want to fuck everybody, and that's that's kind of I'm just like this lustful person. I think he actually like called me a lustful person, but that's just like so untrue. I feel like I have a totally different view on it. I'm not lustful, and I don't feel like I should, just keep some, like, I'm not greedy. I feel like there's more than enough to share, and, I don't want to just have sex with anyone who asks me. I have a little bit higher, like, standards and values and morals, and I was telling him that if you're gonna date, if this woman you're dating is just gonna, or this bitch, as you call her, you're dating is just going out and fucking everyone, and that's her first plan, maybe she's not the woman for you, because this isn't just how it works. You just don't go out and fuck people. I mean, some people do. I don't know how your relationship works, if it's just open and you can just go out and have sex with whoever you please, and if you could, would you? Because that's not something, like, that's not how I look at, like, my relationship. Like, if I want to have sex with someone and I like them enough to have sex with someone, then I'll definitely have sex with them. But it's not instance where I'm ever like, yes, just give me all the dicks in the world or all the vaginas in the world. Like, I'm never like, and I feel like a lot of people are looking at it that way. Like, if you're polyamorous.
No orgies for you.
What'd you say?
No orgies for you.
Oh, yeah. I'll take an orgy any day. Orgies are great, but I'm not doing that every day. So I feel like I'm like taking it in moderation there. But yeah, I don't know. How are you in an open relationship? Like, is your polyamorous relationship more open, whereas you can go have more random sexual acts, or is it more? I mean, but at the end of the day, like I don't look down on people if they just want to have random sexual acts with everyone who walks down the street. This?
So the way I view both monogamy and polyamory is that it can be either opened or closed. I don't necessarily view open relationships as being underneath the non-monogamy umbrella. So yes, my way of doing polyamory is open.
Okay,
Both are
so your approval isn't needed. Like, so for instance, if your partner starts seeing someone else, or they want to have sex with someone else, they don't need to tell you beforehand, or like they can just tell you after.
As long as they're honest about it after the fact, like, oh, by the way, I had sex with so and so when we went out Friday night. That's fine. Like,
But
they
it's
don't
not
have to call me and check in.
approval. Like, they don't have to like get your approval for it.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
No
I mean, I don't feel like it's more of a. I don't feel like it's approval for like me and Rob. Like, he'll show me pictures and ask me what I think. But we also don't have like an open, like, our polyamorous relationship isn't necessarily open. Like, but I just feel like maybe that comes from a standpoint of like how sexually. I don't even know how sexually open you are, because like, just because I can have sex with other people, I don't. And I feel like the reason I don't is because like it takes a little bit more for me to want to have sex with someone than,
And on the other hand, I'm very much a slut, and I embrace that. And
like, what do you mean? Like, just like you want to have like it
does.
What's the qualifications of you just becoming like sexually intimate?
I don't have a high emotional standard.
Okay.
So I don't have a high emotional standard in order to want to have sex with somebody or to feel comfortable to have sex with somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
and I know that differs for people.
I don't know. There's not a lot of attractive guys who are just like.
I'm attracted to a lot of people, mostly females, but a lot of people.
It must be even harder. Like, it's even harder. Like, if I could like have like a hot chick, like, which is my ideal combination, like a hot guy and a hot chick, and then we're just having a constant threesome. That would be that's like my ideal. Like, I'm not greedy. I don't want a lot here. I'm just asking for a little bit.
I'm just looking for that unicorn.
Exactly. I was the unicorn. I just need more women like me. But even then, I just feel like it's hard, and I feel like it's even harder with women because it's hard to get through to women, or like there's Tinder, but like women are a lot harder to talk to than men. But this is actually a great point that I was going to come to too, which is a story of just like, I'll give you the short version here. A girl that I know, I'm gonna call it poly because I hate putting like words on it. But she really liked this girl, even though she had a boyfriend. She's she's monogamous, and she really liked this girl. And she said that it's different because she's a girl. And I asked her, but if your boyfriend was interested in this other girl, like, would you feel the same way? And then she said, no, I'd be super jealous or blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to sit down with her and like evaluate this, because I definitely think it's like natural to like, if you're bisexual, especially, to want to be with both. But then she's just like strictly monogamous, but she felt like it was okay. It's okay to venture because it's just a girl, right? That's kind of her reasoning. And I sat her down and I was like, it really doesn't matter about genitalia in a relationship. I mean, it does, when you get down to business, but when you're pertaining to a relationship, it's about time. And you're thinking it's going to be no different because this person's a female, but this person's still a person. So you have to look at like their feelings. So when you want to spend time, you're gonna have like, you want this like person, it's more than sex. You're gonna have to contribute your time to this person. Like, some of your nights are gonna be spent with this person because you like this person, right? And her answer was, yeah, like I have a crush on her or whatever. And I was like, but you're thinking because she's a girl, it makes a difference of your feelings. Like, oh, it's not a guy. So, but it's all about your time, how much time you're investing into it. And even though, you might not feel jealous at first because it's a girl, you're not thinking about like that girl when, you know, you want to spend time with your boyfriend. Well, I'm going to wrap my point up with that when I come back.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you? Liberty activists are joining the Free State Project, which is over 90% of the way to its goal of 20,000 participants.
We're at what, 96%, 98 now?
98.
And are proving the Free State Project is a real movement and no longer just a great idea. When you're planning your move, consider Keene. Keene is famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation, and there's plenty of political opportunity as well. If you're a regular reader of freekeene.com, you know there's a lot going on in Keene. Keene is the liberty media capital of the world, with television, talk radio, and more, all originating here. Though it's more than just activism, with regular social events each week. See what's happening at freekeene.com and get connected with video, audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people,
What are you doing?
I'm in pain
I'm trying to
every
get a
single
picture
day.
of my greens.
And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in the
Do you have
elevator,
Snapchat?
I'd scream.
Yeah.
Can't sleep
Oh,
at
I don't
night.
think we're friends on Snapchat.
Sometimes the spasms in my legs
What's your
are
name?
so intense
What's your Snapchat
they
name?
will wake me up throughout the night.
Leslie Peterson.
Strongest prescription medications
Well, that's
available,
easy.
and I'm gonna tell you, they do not work.
I'm not very creative.
Super. And most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried
Screen-
marijuana, and I'm gonna tell you something.
Screenshot that for you.
If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I was telling you the story of one of my mono friends. I guess I want to call it a poly scare, almost like a pregnancy scare, like a poly scare, when like she almost went poly, but had to like talk some sense back into I'm not against the idea of it. Like I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we don't really account for when we think about like polyamory. And you kind of just want to like venture out onto your feelings, like, oh, I have feelings for this person, I like this person, and you kind of want to justify it with polyamory, or you're trying to like fix your relationship with it. And in that point, I'm gonna tell you like you're wrong. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, polyamory is so great, you should definitely do this. It's like if you're not doing this, like
one of my favorite phrases is polyamory is not a relationship bandage.
Yeah,
it's not fix something that's broken.
And you have to really look at what you're getting into, because like I said, like her, she's like, oh, because this person's a girl, it's not going to be the same. Like none of that jealousy is going to be there. None of that like possessiveness is going to be there. Like she's a girl.
Can we talk about the like innate heteronormativity that is in that belief? Like, oh my God.
No, I don't get it. And I was like, being in a relationship with someone isn't like, you go to like going down to girly town, it's not the same. If I have sex with a girl, it doesn't count. Like like I totally like that's like a ridiculous thing to think of or even believe. And
it's almost like the one penis policy. It's like it's the female version of the one penis policy.
The one penis policy? Wow.
Yeah. Have you not heard that?
No, I haven't heard about that.
It's when it's usually the new to poly couples. They institute a rule that the female can only see other females because it's not the same if she saw a guy.
But it is. And that's just like ridiculous because like, first of all, if we're going to like an equalization standpoint, this is my view. Men are either equal to women or they're not. So you can't like say, and for women especially, oh yeah,
so like I love how you put it that way.
Like relationships, like they're not actually people anymore.
So I love that the femdom in you just came out, and it's men are equal to women or they're not. Not women are equal to men or they're not. I love that.
Yeah. like it's that. I don't know. Like I just feel like you have to look at everyone's feelings, and you can't stop like seeing people as people. Like though I'm happy for you, like you kind of like my friend, like she kind of opened up because she's very vanilla, but I felt like I definitely felt like she was looking at this all wrong, and there are so many people's feelings, and I felt like her boyfriend was like, yeah, I don't care, and then it was like on the boyfriend side, like you should care, especially if you're saying you're in a monogamous relationship, but it's okay if she like fucks this girl. And I feel like it's gonna bring feelings of jealousy. It's gonna bring feelings of I feel like she's missing something in her life, and she was trying to like move polyamory in to fix it, and like her justification was I'm bisexual and it's just a girl. But you're not thinking about everyone in that situation. Like you said, when you explain it to people and you're like on this whole, like you mindfuck people because you're on this whole other playing field, it's because you're really examining like the insecurities in yourself versus like kind of projecting that on to like what your partner may be feeling, but you're also thinking about your partner's feelings before you make decisions. So yeah, I feel like in that situation is what I'm going to say where I don't know if I call it a poly band-aid or just like, your one penis rule, but people are people. And if you're in a relationship with someone, you need to evaluate everyone's feelings, especially if you're going to try to go from mono to poly. Like you can't just think about what you want or what, what's going to turn you on for the night, because if this girl falls in love with you, like, and she wants to spend all her time with you, are you just gonna tell her, oh shit, out of luck, I'm only poly on the weekends when I want a girl?
Poly on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm only poly on the weekends. Like, yeah, I love women. I definitely want a girl and a guy, but I'm not gonna like place one higher than the other.
Well, at that point, it's ignoring the fact that this new girl is a person and using her as a tool or a toy to get your needs met. And we know that that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just...
I should have said that. That was a great line.
You're not the only one who can come up with great lines.
Yeah, you're the only one. Next time I'm in a dilemma like this, I'm gonna be like, let me just call Leslie. See how like, give her one of your one-liners, okay? She's being crazy. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely been taking a deeper look at myself and my insecurities lately because I want to deal with them. And I don't want to project them onto other people. And though I feel like I don't particularly have feelings of jealousy, and I like that's no bullshit. And I feel like a lot of that is because I believe in the principle of self-ownership. And I think that I don't own anyone else.
Libertarianism.
Yeah, I don't own anyone else, and no one else owns me. And if you're gonna call my show on Skype, don't be talking about your bitch. And like, because like that's just wrong.
Let's just make sure to differentiate this from consensual ownership.
Yeah,
because that's a very valid kink.
Yeah, but even if we're gonna go into BDSM right now, I feel like that's all consent. Like BDSM is just like the ultimate kind of trust, because yes, like you're letting that person own you, but you're also like you're giving them permission to like yeah, like my body's yours. Like it's the ultimate. Like I feel like BDSM involves this whole other emotional level, and it definitely involves communication. Like that's why someone can't just be like, I'm a dom, you know, those guys like, or those women like, I'm a dom. Like you're not a dom just because you just said that you were. Like that's not how it works. There's a lot of like trust that goes into that, like even submitting or dominating someone.
What's the saying? A dom doesn't exist without the submissive.
Yeah. Yeah. Submitting to someone's a powerful thing. Like you're letting that person, you know, take that control over you. So I don't feel like I really have any particular horror stories besides like the whole stabbing that happened. But I can say I've had a lot of friends who've come to me lately and just asked me, you know, how to deal with like their emotional troubles, whether it's like you know, being jealous or just feeling lonely. And I feel like a loneliness is like a big part of like people feeling jealous or anything. I feel like it's because you can get lonely, and I feel like it's hard for people to admit when they're lonely because no one wants to be that vulnerable. Like how often will you just tell yourself or tell your partner, you know, I'm lonely? Not often, because we don't want to like expose that. Like
that all the time.
You're like that all the time. I'm lonely.
Yep.
Just mad, huh?
I'm pretty sure it's because I haven't moved to New Hampshire yet.
Yeah, then you'll never be lonely. You'll have shit to do all the time, and you'll be like, I need a break from everyone in the world. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I've been getting a lot of friends asking me these questions, so I definitely wanted to touch on it, and just like the whole self-ownership is individual like liberations. You have to like focus on yourself and what's wrong with you before you can like really focus on loving anyone else. Is what I think. Poly or mono. But we'll wrap it up when we come back.
I'm getting stared down by my cat.
Kitty! Kitty!
In Survivor Max 2,
I don't see a kitty.
Maximus scavenged through a wasteland swarming with
Aww.
the undead. Desperate to find
Breaker,
a medicine,
you are
he
not a
discovers
kitty.
A community of survivors at his former school. Has
My
he
dog
found
just
the
got
safe
up because
haven
I
he's
said
been
kitty.
looking
It's
for,
like,
or will he
yeah, I'm ready to
discover
be
when
loved.
School bites. Look for Survivor Max on
Ignore, you know, the whole messy living room.
Chapter 1 at
Oh.
survivornews.com.
Why did you move
You haven't seen my
I moved
living
here to
room.
the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like,
The house I'm using for my bridal shower might not be ready.
People like me who got it.
Oh,
And once I got
that's
here,
rough.
I knew there was
Yeah.
nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world.
It's too cold to do it outside, like a park or something.
Who were actually working
Yeah.
towards the same thing.
I feel like I'm just gonna use this house no matter what. People will just be walking around the construction.
And for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part
Just hire a bunch of friends to clean up.
Yeah, it's not at my house. It's at a friend's house, but he had ice dams and like they had to redo the roof. And it was supposed to be done, and like it's up and everything, but now like all the construction like stuff is still there. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Get news updates about what's
Oh,
happening.
that's rough.
Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer. You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. Following sharp increases yesterday, in early trading on Wednesday, gold is $2 lower at $1,118 per ounce. Silver is down 3 cents at $14.54 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $395 US. We have plenty of new 2016 Silver American Eagles in stock. Get yours online at rrbi.co or give us a call at 800-874-9760.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market, making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. Oh, sorry. No, not the Rebel Love Show. See, guys, I'm tired, and I still got to record a book tonight. Welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I just want to say we're at 98% right now. We're on our way to triggering the move. Then Leslie will finally move to New Hampshire, and everything will be right with the world. And a big part of that, I feel it will definitely be triggered before Liberty Forum at this point. It's increasing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll actually be triggered by Monday. So.
Oh, yeah, it'll be done before February.
Yeah, so we definitely have to like party it up. But Liberty Forum is coming up, and I hope like a lot of you can make it out. At least make it to Flaming Freedom, which is going to be 2 to 4 or 3 to 4. Okay, don't quote me. It's going to be Friday. It's in the schedule.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon. At some point, we'll be wearing leather. Don't you worry. Well, I'll definitely remind you beforehand. Come out to Liberty Forum, support us, and the move will be triggered. So this will definitely be a big year for Liberty Forum.
So, Anne, I have to ask, did we check with the hotel's clothing policy? Like, are we good?
The hotel has a clothing. I don't know. Like, what are you planning to wear?
What are you planning to wear?
I have this leather outfit that I have, but it's not conservative. But I feel like I wouldn't get in trouble. I don't know.
Okay.
No, I didn't check. Am I going to check? No, I'm an anarchist.
But it's a private company.
What I can wear. Liberty Forum. Don't tell me what to do. And if there's anything else I can say, just go like the Rebel Mistress on Facebook. And I definitely like to hear any closing thoughts or any just inspiration or tips or advice you can give my jealous friends about, when he's having trouble with his bitch and her cheating and like how he can deal with those feelings. If you have any, and then I'll just give mine after yours. Just don't be an asshole. It's basically.
Well, I mean, don't be a douche is really good advice. But I think we also need to continue to remember that jealousy is an emotion that is a red flag for a lack of resources, that you are needing something and your needs are not being met. Just because you're feeling jealous doesn't mean it requires external action on your part, but rather that it requires internal action, and it requires you to examine what spurned that feeling, what created that feeling within you, and how to fix it internally, because other people are not responsible for your feelings.
Right. I had a show, Seditious Sirens, called I'm Not Responsible for Your Feelings, Fuck 'em. So I feel like that was a great closing point. I feel like, as my fiance would say, he says jealousy is a state of mind. And if you're like feeling that way, focus on something more negative, and don't focus on don't like I said, focus on something more negative. Focus on something more positive, and don't focus on the negative. Reverse. And I feel like that can just change your perception. And also, it's all about, individual liberations of the mind for me. So if you're feeling like jealousy and it's becoming overwhelming, take a step back and, like I said, don't be an asshole. Realize that even though you're in a relationship with someone, that person is choosing to be in a relationship with you. You don't own them. And they don't own you. And even if you're looking at the relationship that way, for some reason, it's not true. You should stop it, because that isn't how I feel like relationships should work. And once you start focusing more on yourself, like maybe it is that loneliness, maybe it is because you're feeling a bit insecure, maybe it is because your self-esteem isn't where it should be. Maybe it has a lot to do with you and who you are as a person, and maybe it has something to do with your partner. Like if you feel like that you went polyamorous, if you went polyamorous with your partner, that she'd fuck everyone, maybe you just feel like she wants to be having sex with other people, and I feel like at that point you just have to accept it too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
What'd you say? Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have sex with other people.
No, definitely not. Just, communicate up front, be open, be honest. And I feel like that can avoid a lot of trauma. And I don't want to see jealousy leading to extreme violence. As I saw with my friend whose boyfriend ended up stabbing her because she never checked his jealousy. She just thought it was kind of a cute thing, and it just progressively got worse. And I don't want to see that happen to anyone. God knows there's thousands of stories of people who have let that jealousy turn into violence. And I just can't. And if I could give a best advice for a partner who's facing jealousy, how to if not, overcome it. Because like I'm sitting here saying, check your self-esteem, look within yourself. Like, I know it's not like always as easy. I'm not always the most confident person or the most sure of myself. But sometimes you have to take that hard look. I feel like it'll make you a better person. And I guess overall communication is just the key. It's like the best advice you can give to a partner who's jealous. And if all else fails, none of that other shit works. You can't talk. You just, you can't do it anymore. Then just break up with the person, because violence is never the answer. For me, and if you're feeling lonely, I think you should just join Leslie's Love and Liberty. Go sign up for it, and you find your partner that's kind of on that same playing field. Because I, at this point, will not date. I won't date a muggle. If you're jealous, it's kind of a deal breaker for me. I don't feel attracted to it. And I, like you said, I don't want to like baby a partner and be like, oh, are those your feelings? Like, and I have to dig through to like get it out of them or anything like that. Like, I can't deal with it.
How are you feeling today?
Like, I'm sorry. I know I probably sound like a selfish fucking bitch right now. But when it comes to relationships, for me, I try to put my all into it. I try to be 100% honest, and I try to communicate.
We are not our partner's therapists. If they have a feeling, they need to come to us.
Yeah, that's a good damn point. And if I am a therapist, like, I'm not getting paid by the hour for this shit.
They're not paying you enough.
No, definitely not. So yeah, those are my closing thoughts. If you're feeling overwhelmed, look within yourself. If you're feeling like, you just need to find someone different, look into Love and Liberty. When will your app be out? And anywhere people can find you, and then we'll just wrap it up.
The website beta launch for Love and Liberty will be February 5th with iOS.
Is it a website right now, or is it just a Facebook page? Sorry, I didn't clarify.
So there is a website, loveandliberty.com. It is just a placeholder until the official beta launch on February 5th. There will be iOS and Android apps within the next few weeks following the beta launch. You can also find myself, my blogging, and my relationship coaching at lesliepeterson.com.
I forgot you're a relationship coach for a while, so you probably get these questions all the time.
I was extremely prepared for this topic because my focus is on polyamory, BDSM, and queer relationships.
Nice. Okay, people. I don't have a focus. I'm just all over the place right now. But I got my audio blog coming out soon. I'm transforming it into a video blog so I can release my new logo, which I think you'll love. Leslie is sexy. So I'm in the process of doing that right now, which is kind of on the back burner. And then I'm also working on my audiobook that will be coming out very soon. It's called Through the Looking Glass. You can just search The Rebel Mistress on Amazon or Audible, and you can find that book. But when it officially comes out, I'll be shamelessly self-promoting it every fucking where, because I need you to buy it. This is how I make my living, people. Come on. And other than that, like I said, come to Liberty Forum. That's going to be February 18th through the 21st. The move will be triggered, and we'll be ready to party, people. Go like the Rebel Mistress on Facebook. Peace.
Fantastic.
See you next week. Thanks. Hopefully I'll have more show prep next week.
Oh, it's no issue. This was a topic I was prepared for.
Yeah, it's just been a busy week. Usually a little bit more prepared. Have a good night.
Yep, you too, girl.
Bye.
Questions you ask, then the